So now let's talk about polarity. I was actually introduced to polarity in massage school in 1995. And like I mentioned, it was easy. It was easy to start out with because it wasn't spiritual in nature. Dr. Randolph Stone, who was an Austrian man, he came up with this technique because he learned, he traveled, he loved to go to India. He was really a lifelong student of Ayurvedic medicine, as well as reflexology, naturopathy. He was an osteopath and he was a chiropractor as well. So this guy, yet another one that you can look at his picture and you can just see the love and joy and happiness in his sweet little face. And he's one that I really feel in my healing team. I feel like he was so passionate about helping people actually heal themselves and empower themselves. And what he saw polarity therapy being for physicians. That's what he wanted, which it's become more for yoga instructors, massage therapists, energy healers, shamanic practitioners. A lot of those type people use polarity therapy, and it is a more extensive, more clinical learning style than Reiki. And so that may have a bearing on, I wanted to give you two. I wanted to give you like a more spiritual woo-woo way of going with it. And then I wanted to give you a more clinical side because we're all different in how we respond to information. And I like both, quite honestly. I like the clinical side and I love the spiritual side now. It took me longer though on the spiritual side of things. But Dr. Stone created this protocol and this whole technique system that is complementary with every other type of healing modality or medical practice. And it's all about our human body being a battery, that we're literally a battery of energy with negative and positive poles, just like a battery that we use. It's beautiful to me in the sense that we can also utilize each other with those negative and positive poles to balance things out. Now, what you will find is a lot of polarity therapists do not like Reiki because there's been so much research on Reiki reversing a human being's polarity. So let's talk a little bit about what I mean by that. The typical healthy human body has the negative charge, the negative pole is in the lower part of the body, lower chakras. Positive charge is at the upper chakras. That's a healthy human being, but that's not always what you're going to see. Sometimes our polarity gets flipped and our positive charge can be at the between our legs area and the negative charge could be, negative pole could be at the crown. What do you think that could possibly mean? Okay. Well, think of it like this. If you think of your body as a battery, like we refer to it in polarity therapy, if your negative charge of the battery was at the base of your spine, between your legs, you would be receiving, you would be in a yin receptive energy for the earth to come in and nourish you. And what you would be doing at the crown is output, giving energy to God, worshiping, praise, all that kind of stuff. Okay, so that would be what your battery would look like and how the functionality of that would be. If your polarity is reversed, you're only giving out, you're outputting with a positive pole toward Mother Earth. So you wouldn't be receiving all that nourishment. And if you're open here, you could be open to possession. You could be open to entities and lower level attachments coming in through the crown and wreaking havoc on the body. So if you ever come up on that, I wanted you to have a clear understanding of what that means about our polarity being reversed. Now, when I check polarity with my dowsing system, because one thing that I recommend you do with your pendulum every day is check to see if your polarity is balanced. Typically right now on planet Earth, almost no one I work with is balanced. So I ask my pendulum to balance my polarity every day. And I think this has something to do with the way that the frequencies of the earth are changing and the Schumann resonance. So polarity is something you can definitely douse with your pendulum and say, balance my polarity, put me on the proper frequency. And then as you go, you learn more and more techniques that polarity is just really simple. It's all about Put the left hand here, put the right hand here. You are not only a positive charge and a negative charge on the top and the bottom of your body, but you're a negative and positive charge from one side to the other side. So traditionally, when you're balanced, when you're healthy, the left side of the body is the negative pole. The right side of the body is the positive pole. So if you look at your body as a battery, once again, left side receiving, receptive, taking in energy, right side giving out energy. This is where in Chinese medicine, we talk about mama issues on the left side, daddy issues on the right side. That doesn't necessarily mean your specific parents. It means those issues in life and how they are reflected and manifested in the body. Left side, receptivity, receiving energy. Right side, giving out energy. Yes, you can say masculine and you can say feminine, but you can say that in a whole lot of different ways because the body is a battery. We're even a positive and negative pole from the front body to the back body. When you apply these really, really simple techniques, it's easy. It's easy to balance polarity. It's easy to think of ourselves as this battery that has an electrical charge and that needs to be charged up and that needs to be balanced. We need to use that intake and that output, that negative pole and positive pole, we need to use them in equal amounts for our overall and optimal health. So let's just do a very, very easy polarity self-healing exercise together. We kind of already did this in Reiki, but this is giving you the polarity way of doing it. If you are ever stressed, if you're all up in your head, if you're full of anxiety, if you feel like you just need to smooth it all out and treat your nervous system, this is a super easy way to do it. You take your left hand at your forehead. Once again, we want that nice, concentrated, direct flow of energy, not fingers splayed out like this. Okay, but we also want soft. So what I see a lot of people do when they start working with hand positions is they're like, and you don't want tension in the fingers, but you also don't want the fingers just dispersing energy. You really want it to go where you want it to go. So just a softness and a direct focus. The right hand, the positive pole, is going to go at the base of the skull. So try to find a way to do this where it does not affect the shoulder joints, but just a very few deep breaths here. You're starting to cool the brain, calm the nervous system. Self-healing polarity treatment right here. You're balancing out. That feels so good. I hope that you're doing it with me because it really does feel good. So take as much time when you do a polarity hold until you feel a register, until you feel a release. This could be like a big deep, like you can feel that shift. And sometimes when you're doing polarity work with someone else, you'll register for them or they'll register for you. Like sometimes if I have my hands in a particular polarity hold where I'm just being a battery, I don't have to think about it. I don't have to go to a certain level of the field. I don't have to work on a chakra. It's like super duper simple. I just got to go, you put your left hand here, you put your right hand here. It's like the hokey pokey, but you do have to be very specific. It's not like a what anything goes kind of thing. It has to be the left hand in certain places, just like left hand here, because you're calming. You're calming and soothing with the negative charge of the body, the feminine pole, okay? So you gotta have that left hand here. If you put your right hand over this area, it's gonna charge it up. And most of us are already too much in fight or flight, and we got plenty of activation in the sixth chakra anyway. So don't be using the right hand. You got enough going on up here. We need to calm that mental chatter and soothe the body, and that's what we can do with this. But the right hand back here, it's going to balance it all out and feel really, really good.